Hey everybody, it's PartyElite. Welcome you to the new year and a new episode of our IXION playthrough where things are actually a lot rougher than I remembered. I did a little bit of a review before I dove into this session because I wanted to sort of catch myself up after the short break over the last couple of days, and I realized that things are not looking so hot. Our food situation is terrifying. We're losing food at an extremely fast rate. We have absolutely no ice, and though we are bringing some ice in using our cargo ships, if we just take a look at the interior of the station, you'll see that we have very little water, meaning we have almost no runway as far as ice collection is concerned, and at the same time, we have only a little bit of ice at the fusion station with none at the stockpile and none at the docking bay either. So we're in a very tight spot as far as ice and food are both concerned, and what's more, if we take a look at the fleet management screen over here, you'll see we don't have that much iron left in this system either. Now, 400 iron might seem like a lot, but don't forget that iron needs to be sort of flowing constantly because alloys need to be flowing constantly because alloys are constantly consumed to actually keep hull integrity up. So, 400 iron might feel like a lot on top of the 250 or so that we have right now, but I don't want to get too cocky. I don't want to get too relaxed on that front because that could spell doom. What's more, we actually don't have any iron out there to mine, so I either need to go and scout out more spots for our mining ships to mine out more iron, or we have to leave the Immortan system ASAP, which we cannot do until we actually go in through these ice fields and save the Protagoras by providing them with resources to repair their superstructure and reboot their core systems. Now, we have all those resources set aside. We got plenty of alloys and polymers set aside, so that's not a concern. But before we go diving into these ice fields and risk everyone's, lives and God knows what else, I just want to prepare a little bit further because overall, what we need right now is readily available among those ice fields, obviously, that is to say ice and these cryonic pods as well. But there are a couple things I want to manage before we get in there and before we invite, multiple additional sources of struggle and pain. The first order of business is actually going to be to build our remaining 9th crop field over here, which we had previously canceled. Yes, but I think now is the time to pull the trigger on this just to accelerate the production of food. And beyond that as well, I think it's time to start collecting waste and turning waste into a food through the mushroom wall because like I said, food is looking extremely tight. We've got room for the mushroom wall over here as well as stockpiles and stuff, and in sector 1 at least we have enough wiggle room as far as stability is concerned to actually change our policy. So why don't we go ahead and get all that going while we have to make some bigger changes over in sector 2 to have them collecting waste as well. But more on that in a bit as waste recycling is activated in sector 1. Yes, let's get that going, please, and thank you. And let's go ahead and actually build up our mushroom wall immediately down over here. We'll leave a bit of a gap. That's fine by me. And what we'll do is we'll also build our stockpile right across the street from this mushroom wall, which will allow us to put a road down like so and connect all these structures. We have some room over here for an additional stockpile if we deem it necessary, or we might end up doing something else with it, but nonetheless I think this is the right call because this way waste can be stored in this stockpile very easily, and it can be very quickly transported over to the mushroom wall, and then when that produces food, that food is very quickly shipped down to these two stockpiles over here, or again I could build a second stockpile here to take that storage responsibility over instead. We've got room for decisions, but we'll make those decisions when the time actually comes to make them. Separately down over here, though, in Sector 2, it was pointed out to me that we are not taking advantage of our demotic quarters. So thank you again in the comments for pointing that out. We only have people living in optimized quarters, so if we actually shift them over to the demotic quarters, we'll have stability up at +2, which will again give us that wiggle room to take the -1 hit from waste recycling, which will allow us to store waste from all of these massive industrial structures that produce so much waste, which will actually be what will sustain, I think, the mushroom wall over here. It consumes quite a bit of waste to turn into food, so we want to make sure there's a constant flow, of course. And in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and dismantle these buildings one at a time to replace them with demotic quarters. I say one at a time because right now we're topped up on alloys, and it'll be rather difficult for us to... Actually, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and build another stockpile over here that'll be focused on alloys, and we'll then get get these guys dismantling without us needing to build something to drain any alloys. Because again, if you have no place to put the alloys from the order to dismantle a building, then that building won't actually be dismantled. So this should help out. I shouldn't have pulled the trigger on this until the stockpile was actually built up. That's a mistake on my part. But hey, you live and you learn. It's a small mistake in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, the homelessness is not enough to actually impact stability. So with that said, let's get time moving forward. We're in the middle of a meal cycle right now, so we're going to see food drain quite a bit, I imagine. Yeah, this is not sustainable. We have to make these moves very, very quickly. Do we have electronics here? We do indeed. We've got alloys as well. Yes, we do. Good stuff. Do we want to stop waking people up? That might not be a terrible idea. You know what? Yes, let's turn the cryonic center off right now. We're not seeing a stability hit from having too many cryonic pods, so I'm fine on that front, and I think I won't be fine for much longer if we, yes, keep waking people up, right? For the time being, we're not even bringing more cryonic pods in, so there's no, rush to make room for cryonic pods or anything like that. So yeah, let's keep them asleep for the time being. Let's wait for the food situation to get fixed up, and then we'll start waking more and more people up. I think that's the right call. As down over here, yes, this was a bit foolish on my part, but it looks like these alloys are being picked up and delivered pretty quickly, actually. Okay, that's not too bad. That is not too bad, and this thing has been built up. Let's go ahead and get you storing alloys, as was the plan all along, right? I wanted 3 stockpiles for iron and 3 stockpiles for alloys, and we finally, after how many sessions, got that up and running now, and that's actually looking pretty good. This guy's going to get dismantled. Let's get the demotic quarters set up over here. Good stuff. This will be room for more people, and it'll also be better housing, right? So it should make people happier. As I was saying, that's kind of the that's kind of the goal here. That's why we're making these changes in the first place. So let's get all that done. And do we have room to actually? Yeah, we do. Let's go ahead and dismantle you as well. And you know what? Why don't we go ahead and dismantle you too? Sure. Let's just pull the band-aid off, right? Just do it right away. Get it done rather than dancing around this this homelessness number. If we take a small hit to stability for a small period of time, it's really not the end of the world. Though, of course, I say that, and just watch. We'll get accidents and stuff out the wazoo within a moment's time. But what's the situation over here? We have plenty of alloys. Are they being shipped down? Are we seeing progress down over here? What's going on? Why are we taking our sweet time? Okay, these guys are moving somewhere. Yeah, okay. Looks like they are still coming down to bring alloys over. We might have run out of workers. They might have been going somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly what they were busy with, but work is resuming over here. We need that mushroom wall up and running very soon. Like, look, that negative is a smaller negative now, but it's still a negative. The station balance per 5 cycles, right? It is still a negative, not negative 11, but it's still rough. And I want to make sure we get ahead of that before everything falls apart. Oh, right. You know what? The alloys might have been brought down to this field instead, which maybe I should actually prioritize. I don't know which one of these 3 structures to prioritize, truth be told, as in Sector 1 we are seeing some trouble with feeding all crew members already. All right, let's go ahead and maybe shift some people around. Not that I think we have enough food to feed anybody else either. Like any other sector. And there's an accident in Sector 2. Fortunately, no one actually died, so we're fine. It didn't go as poorly as I was expecting. Again, we didn't get homelessness high enough to see a drop in stability, so that's worked out okay. Just waiting for that +2 to become a +3 at the top there, and then hopefully we'll be able to get more waste flowing and those mushroom walls up and running. Almost made a mistake there. Demotic quarters is what I need. Let's plant you down over there. And I don't know if 3 structures will be enough, but what's good is that apart from just improving the stability over here, we're also going to have the option to house more people, right? Because these guys are able to house 112 inhabitants, whereas these guys only get 64. And if we can get the population of Sector 2 up to 400, for which we need enough housing, obviously, but if we can get their population up to 400, we'll be able to take advantage of the technology we're researching right now, which is an upgrade to the Alternative Life Center, which relies on the sector population being at 400. Adding an additional +1 to stability. So there's a few benefits to having these upgrades put in place. If we have enough room for 400 people, we'll get the population topped up to 400 ASAP. That'll be another 150 people we need. So I think we might actually already have enough room for an additional 150 people as soon as these 3 get built, and that will then further allow us to take advantage of the tech once it's done being researched. Obviously, we do have to get it researched first. And then once this is done, again, just as a reminder, once the Alternative Life Center has got its upgrade, we're going to switch gears back to our tech lab, I think, to chase after all of these upgrades to ultimately get computing optimization. Because even getting 5 science every 5 cycles is not enough. I had my math wrong last session, by the way, so I apologize for that. Thank you for correcting me in the comments, but I guess with my current state of panic at the time, I had my math wrong on how long some things would take. We're actually progressing a lot slower than I previously realized, and getting computing optimization is that much more urgent as a result. So yeah, let's stay focused on that, shall we? Separately, I just want to mention really quickly, folks, if you've been enjoying this series, if you would like to see it continue, please don't hesitate to keep letting me know by leaving those likes and comments down below. They do make a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel, and letting me know what I should keep doing, what I should speed up, slow down, etc., etc. You've heard me say it a couple of times now, but I repeat myself on that note because it does make a very, very big difference. It does have a direct impact on what you see on the channel. So, you know, make sure to have your voice heard and have an influence on what's going on over here. I'm having an absolute blast with this game, so the chances of this series being dropped is like negligible, but at the same time it does help me make decisions when push comes to shove, should push come to shove, and I see interest waning or something like that. Maybe, you know, I release fewer episodes or something. It doesn't seem to be the case with IXION, but there's only you know, a few ways of letting me know that's the case, and likes and comments are exactly that. I'm just looking for more iron deposits because I want to make sure that if we end up staying here for longer than I'd like, we at least have some options, and it looks like there are some options out there. Let's go ahead and see. I want iron primarily. Let's send this probe up over there. We are building another one automatically if memory serves. Yeah, we have auto build on, and we have plenty of polymers to keep building a few more drones with, or sorry, probes with at least, before we have to start concerning ourselves with not having enough for the Protagoras, right? So we have some wiggle room. Let's go ahead and find some additional sources of iron. Let's make sure we mine them out so that we don't run out, because yeah, I'm just a little concerned. Just a little concerned, as food now is in the positives, not by a significant enough number, but it is in the positives, as we have over here our mushroom wall hopefully active. Oh, it needs 6 waste to produce 9 food over 3 cycles. We don't yet have 6 waste. Oh, there we go, finally. So 9 food over 3 cycles. Huh. Wait, no, hang on. It's transforming... Oh, my bad. It's transforming 4 waste into 13 food. Why does it say... What? Mushroom wall produces 9 food using 6 waste in 3 cycles. Oh. Is that like the bare minimum? If we provide it with more waste? Hold on. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but if we get the waste up to 12, can we? Stays at 14. You know what? I'm not gonna fuss over this too much right now. I'm going to fuss over the grand scheme of things. But like, what this tells me is that 6 waste becomes 9 food in 3 cycles time. But down here it's saying we're turning 12 waste into... Okay, no, I guess that was just how much had been stored up, perhaps? Turning 12 waste into 5 food. Look, you know what? I'm gonna look away right now, because I think my head's not in the right space to translate what my eyes are seeing into what the game is actually doing. So I apologize for that, but it's working as we need it to, though perhaps not as quickly as I would want it to. Let's take a look at Sector 2 over here. We need a few more demotic quarters, it seems. Why don't we go ahead and get rid of you and you. Do we have room? Yes, we do. Okay, excellent. Because we need, again, space for those alloys, right? And once these guys have been removed, we'll go ahead and replace them with demotic quarters, yes. Okay. Well, things are looking all right. Things are looking all right, apart from food and ice. Hang on. Things are not looking all right. Who am I lying to? Myself? Probably. What's the deal with ice? It's largely available in the ice fields. So, and right next to the Protagoras as well. So once we get there, we'll be okay. It's food that I wanted to kind of stabilize before we made a move, but it might be time to make a move. Now, if we wanted to jump to the Protagoras right away, that is 4.5 cycles. Do we have enough batteries for 4.5 cycles? Can we make this all in one jump? 3.1 cycles worth of batteries in Sector 1 here. Okay, 2.2 in Sector 2, but what happens if we shut down a bunch of our production, right? Can we get, what was it, 4.1 cycles? 4.5 cycles, my goodness. That might be impossible. Because again, the other option is, of course, to jump to, you know, Tatra V8 first, 3.9 cycles, or Mac R, and then Protagoras. That's probably a more reasonable approach, but 2.6 cycles is also not sustainable unless we turn a bunch of stuff off, right? Let's go ahead and turn you off as well. Still at 2.3. I suppose we could turn the workshop off. Well, we should wait until we've finished building our demotic quarters. Do we even need them? We don't, actually. Basically, the people who are living in those two structures distributed themselves over these two structures, I guess, leaving this one empty, actually. So we have, more than enough living space for an additional 150 people, give or take. Okay, so let's not build those demotic quarters just quite yet. If we can minimize, you know, wasted construction and wasted space, then why don't we? But where was I? Right. What else can I shut down? I can shut this down because no one's actually living here. Oh, hang on, that makes people angry. Don't know why. No one's actually living here. Why would that upset people? But okay, fine, we'll keep it on. If we shut you off, we have 2.8 cycles worth. If we shut you off, 3.2 cycles. Oh, you know what? We're actually... Hang on a second. Hang on, just pausing for a moment. Shut you off, 3.6 cycles. So we got 5.1, 3.6, and 3.1. Okay, hang on. If I get rid of you for the time being, as opposed to getting our waste management going, 3.8, okay. We want to shut these docking bays down while we're moving. That doesn't sound like a solid idea. Zloty, what are you getting? Iron. Okay, so we might be able to shut this one down. 4.4. Okay. Okay. What about up over here? If we shut some of these guys down? 4.5, 4.7, 4.9, 5.1 cycles worth of batteries in Sector 3 and in Sector 2. 5.1. And we need what? 4.5. So that's more than enough. That's more than enough to actually take us to the Protagoras in one movement order. But Sector 1, though. Sector 1's kind of tight. I don't know what I want to shut down here. If I move, let's say, 150 people over to Sector 2, we'll still have... we'll have less than 600 people in Sector 1, which means... Oh, no, 500 is the number I'm looking for, not 600. Okay, no, so we wouldn't be able to shut down one of the mess halls. All right, fair enough, fair enough. I guess I could shut down some of these stockpiles, right? I could shut you off. We're looking for 4.5. That's the magic number we're looking for. Go ahead and shut these guys all off. Let's shut you off as well. 3.3. Okay, that's not looking very hot. Oh, no. Our water situation is also not looking very hot. We are about to convert some, okay, but... Oh, damn, we've overdone it. We've definitely overdone it. It's time to move. We have to move now so that we can collect ice more quickly and we can keep water being produced at a constant rate. Though we have some ice stockpiled right now, that's not going to be enough. By the time the cargo ships come back with their next load, we will have been out of ice for a very long time. So that's not going to be enough. Okay, hang on. Do desperate times call for desperate measures right now? Can I turn this guy off to get us to neutral stability for the time being? Can I also turn one of these food stockpiles off, I suppose? Right? 3.5. I could turn off... Geez, these insect farms, though. Like, that's a lot of food I'm surrendering. Could I instead build maybe more batteries? I don't really have all that much room for them. Could I shut down these docking bays? No, because we need the ice to flow. Find ourselves in a bit of an interesting situation here, don't we? Can I get rid of some more housing? 112 inhabitants, 112... Oh, no, these guys are all topped up. And what's shutting off 2 power going to actually do over here? Right? 3.5 batteries. Okay, hang on. That's only one cycle of not having power. How bad could it be? Yes, there'll be a blackout. Yes, people will lose some trust in us, but we can recover that trust quickly enough, I think. Is that a risk I'm willing to take? Is that a risk I'm willing to take? I think it might be. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, I can't believe we're about to do this, but I think we do have to do this. Let's make our jump to the Protagoras, and that way we can collect ice that much more quickly. and we can start dealing with their struggles as well. We have alloys and polymers set aside. Hopefully all that means we can leave the system a bit more quickly and end up at a system with a lot more for us. Again, we do want to collect those remaining cryonic pods as well, but they are all located at the Protagoras 2, so we should be able to gather them a lot more quickly as well once we're actually right next to that station, right? So, yeah, I think it's time to pull the trigger, folks. My goodness, I can't believe we're going to do this. We're actively ignoring the fact that we don't have enough batteries in Sector 1 to get to our destination, but I think it's a worthwhile risk. And hey, what's life without risks, right? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Bring the Tiqqun over to the Protagoras, and yeah, let's make that jump. Never gets old seeing those thrusters get activated, but let's take a look at the Tiqqun exterior view. Make sure time is actually moving forward as well as we make our way over to the Protagoras. Oh man, draining batteries, of course. Probably should have taken a midpoint. Probably should have stopped somewhere en route rather than just take this huge leap of faith, almost literal leap of faith. If we take a look at the system map, all of our cargo ships are currently going to pick stuff up as we get closer and closer to their actual pickup points. They'll have to travel less of a distance to drop those goods off, right? So that's going to hopefully accelerate the rate at which we collect things like ice. Looks like we've actually got some stockpiled right now. Hopefully that's going to be enough to get water, oh boy, in a better state. I don't know. I mean, we're working as quickly as we can. I don't know if that's quick enough to catch up. We'll find out, right? We'll find out. Let's take a look at our exterior view over here. It's just so beautiful. Oh, look at that. It's so cool to see like the little, you know, space dust and stuff being kicked off the frame. The thruster pushing with all its might. The flare. Oh.
Entering extreme low temperature environment.
Well then. That's a nice heads up. And if we take a look at the view over here as well, you can see just off the edge, we've got like, oh, what's this? The station is surrounded by freezing mist. The hull and our EVA workers are at risk. Okay. I mean, hull integrity is already dropping because we're moving and repairs can't happen while we're moving, but hull integrity may be affected by weather conditions. Interesting, interesting. And hang on a second. Sorry, I misspoke. I implied that repairs can't happen while we're moving, but in reality, we just have an extra -50 to our hull depletion while we're moving is the actual case. But what's this event over here? What do you want from me? Meteorological encounter. Administrator. Adverse space weather conditions can cause severe damage to the Tiqqun. Unless an objective of critical importance lies within, we should avoid entering affected areas when using our EKP systems. A little rain never hurt anybody, or avoid entering space weather for 20 cycles. Well, we can't. We have to be here. So a little rain never hurt anybody. Just asking for trouble over here. Oh, look at that. The weather effects are actually really quite cool. Oh, man. It's a little bit of lightning and stuff as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Wait, we have another thing down here? Oh, solar panel badly damaged. Are you kidding me? And what's this? Courage rather than hope. Administrator. By repatriating the settlers from the colonization test, you have silenced some of the voices that question your natural philanthropy. The crew is delighted to be reunited with their friends and crewmates. Some see it as a sign that humanity is not doomed to die in space. Beyond hope, it fills them with courage. Okay, well that's good. It's going to probably boost our trust, as these events have done in the past, but our trust wasn't hurting yet, so that feels almost wasted, which is too bad. Hold on, I'm a little concerned about our solar panel. Are we able to repair it, or how does that work? Hang on, let's pause for a second over here to make sure we're not falling behind. This panel is broken. Click to repair. Repairs in progress. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. Just wanted to make sure we were staying on top of things, because this is rough. Look at this. My goodness. Moving into the storm over here. Is that the sun off in the distance? Looks like there's repairs being done. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. This is really cool. I really like the weather effects. I know, I'm gushing, but this is worth gushing over. Batteries are running really, really low right now. Got about like 20% left in Sector 1. Looking at this up over here. How close are we to our destination? Oh boy, I should have stopped at Tatra V8. Can I reassign? No. It must finish its current EKP move before another can be initiated. I don't know why. I don't know why I decided to bite the bullet over here. Okay, hang on. What can I do? What can I do to keep us going? Do I really want to shut down, like, food production? Do I really want to shut down water production? Or what, like a cycle? Can we afford that? Maybe we can. Maybe we can. How much more time do we have left here? It doesn't say, does it? Yeah, it won't actually tell us how much longer we have left on this journey. But if we can just get a little bit more wiggle room here, we should be okay. All right, you know what? Here, let's go ahead and shut down this stockpile. Let's go ahead and shut down these mess halls, because we're not going to need to feed anybody in the next handful of cycles. So that should give us a bit of wiggle room. Let's go ahead and shut down this stockpile as well. Though that'll stop food from being moved to the stockpile, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Let's shut down our insect farms too. My goodness, what a risk I've taken here. What a risk I've taken here. This might have been a mistake. We could shut down the EVA airlock too. Don't really need it right now, I suppose. Or gonna hurt our hull integrity a little bit more, but that battery is still at 0.2, eh? Battery is still at only 0.2 cycles. If I turn off the DLS center, then what happens? Still at 0.2. I was wondering what that would do to our policies. I imagine they're still active, but we're not going to see the cooldown happening. Maybe. Going to keep these guys going so they keep growing crops, I think. We can turn the workshop off. We turn the stockpile off as well. Still at 0.2. I feel like that's not updating. So maybe this is worth nothing. Move time forward a little bit and just see if it actually makes a difference. Nope. Dang. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. We are very far away from arriving. That's going to hurt our trust, but like I said, we can recover the trust. It's not the end of the world. Did I need to take this risk? No. Did I take this risk? Yes. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. People are angry here right now. They'll deal. Might as well turn everything on, because it's not like that power is actually going to get drained. But I want to make sure as soon as we have access to power, we are using everything. Go ahead and turn all you on. These guys are not so urgent, I suppose, but doesn't hurt to do everything. Right, let's do that. Yeah, just a little bit of time spent without power in our most important sector. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? People get a little grumpy for a little bit of time. It's fine. It's fine. Sector 1, stability is low. Food is an issue, but again... Ooh, what's this now? All right, it's nice to have these little cutscenes peppered in, but I was just about to say, it's not the end of the world. We'll arrive shortly, and the solar panels will fire up as soon as we're done rotating into position, and Sector 1 will be up and running once more. But there it is, there's the Protagoras, still looking stuck in ice, even though our mining ships supposedly, got their work done. But hey, would you look at that? Batteries are recharging, everything's okay, trust is being regained, everyone's happy once more, things are perfectly fine. See, we didn't need to panic. I don't know why I was panicking. I was panicking because things could have gone horribly wrong and I took an unnecessary risk. But as an administrator, sometimes you got to take those risks. Like I say, what is life without risks, right? Let's go ahead and turn all of these systems on now. We got to make sure that we are staying on top of production wherever needed and where possible, which is everywhere because we had enough power, right? Production before we shut everything off. We don't need to turn these guys back on, so let's keep them off for the time being. And down over here, these guys were all left running because we had more than enough batteries. But the food situation is, oh boy. That's really all I got. Oh boy is all I got as far as our food situation is concerned. Again, we have about 2 cycles before people actually need to be fed. But is that enough time to move the food to where it needs to be, right? Like these mess halls are being topped up right now. If I move 150 people over to Sector 2, it'll take some time for that to happen. Maybe I should do that right now. Do we have room for 150 people? We are just short, but we should be okay. Do we have enough extra workers in Sector 1, though? 150 would take us down to 300, 290 approximately. Yes, so we should be fine to get 150 workers only from Sector 1 to Sector 2. Start that migration. As another solar panel takes a hit. Let's go ahead and repair the solar panel. 23 crew members were injured at our tech lab. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Back to the interior. What's the situation down over here? How long will that take to repair? Almost 2 cycles. It probably was exactly 2 cycles. That's not ideal because it slows down our access to that extra stability that I was hoping for across the board, really. It's part of the reason why we're moving 150 people over to Sector 2. Now, did those people get migrated already? What happened there? That was instantaneous. That was instantaneous. Or, oh, you know what? I guess these numbers are projected numbers as opposed to current numbers. Because, yeah, they haven't been moved yet. So these must be projected numbers. Okay, fair enough. But we need to make sure that we have enough food for 402 people at this mess hall. So over to resource management. Let's make sure Sector 2 is... Oh, yeah, it is chasing after 40 food. Let's get it chasing after 41 food. That's the stockpile, right? And Sector 3? Oh, my. You have no food, eh? Okay, okay. Not ideal. Sector 2 lacks enough food, but it is getting some supply right now. So we should be okay. We should be okay. These guys have been emptied. This guy's been emptied too. We have... How much food in our stockpile? We have 2 food in our stockpile. Oh god, 0 food in our stockpile right now. Okay. We probably woke up more people than we should have. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's make quick work of the Protagoras here. Now, fortunately, at least ice is very close, right? These cargo ships should be able to move ice very quickly from the ice fields that the Protagoras is actually stuck in. And separately, we should be able to very quickly deliver goods to the Protagoras as well. So alloys and polymers, 160 respectively. From where? Zoti? I guess Sector 2 is the ideal sector, right? Because that already has all the resources readily available. So sure, let's get the Zoti over here. That'll take only 0.1 cycles to fly over. Let's get you assigned, and hopefully we'll be done here sooner rather than later, and we can leave this cursed system within a handful of cycles. I don't want to spend too long in these ice fields. I don't want to waste polymers and stuff and time repairing solar panels. We can't afford heavy losses, and it feels like we're headed in that direction. As over here in Sector 3, our infirmary seems to be having some trouble looking after everybody. Hopefully, we'll have empty beds available shortly. Seems like some people are going to be healed up soon, and then we should have enough room for the injured crew members. Oh, we don't. We still have 3 injured crew members who are not in the infirmary. Can we change our policies here? We're not piled up. Can we get piled up? Yeah, we got wiggle room as far as our stability is concerned. So for the time being, let's get people piled up in the infirmaries just to make sure that we don't lose anybody. As in Sector 2, food seems to still be a bit of an issue. Meal cycle is coming up, or did one just finish? I feel like one should have just finished at 765, but I didn't see meal cycle pop up down over here. Fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe I missed it, but either way, it looks like we have enough time to get food to where it needs to be. What are we actually trying to store in Sector 1? Resource management, Sector 1, food, minimum of 10. Let's say minimum of 5, just so that it's moving faster, right? We gotta get these resources moving much more quickly, as separately we're seeing ice now actually stockpile, and water is looking pretty good as well. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at our fleet management really quickly, get the whale prioritizing the cryonic pods, just to get that last shipment of cryonic pods done, so we never have to think about it again, and then we can, yes, once more focus on ice as we prepare to leave this joint, right? My goodness. Okay. Okay. That's a decent number. Not the negative 5.8 per 5 cycles, but the actual total right now. Because again, we've noticed a little bit of funny business as far as the food calculation is concerned, right? We've noticed that's not always been entirely accurate. Because there, you can see, in a blink of an eye, literally, I blinked and the number changed to a positive 11.6. So it's hard to put stock in what that balance number actually says. But with that said, it looks like food is looking okay. As long as we can get enough delivered to Sector 2. Why is it saying people are 112 of the crew are starving? Oh, they're starving. It's not that we don't have enough food to feed them. It's just that they're starving, so I have to make sure I have food for the next meal cycle, which we do. So we're fine. My bad. I was panicking over a misunderstanding there. But stability is not looking so hot over here. Negative right now. What can we do to improve circumstances? Why are we so upset right now? Propaganda is active. Deaths having... Oh, right. It's because of starvation. That's a huge -3 right now, which again, once the next meal cycle hits, we should see solved, so that's not the end of the world. Now, what's actually curious is I was planning on doing waste recycling in Sector 2, but seeing how efficiently our mushroom wall here is working, I might not need to do that, and my goodness, are you kidding me? One crew member died during the last cycle, one due to environmental effects. I don't think we can do anything about that. Unless I'm mistaken, feel free to point out my potential solution over here, but I don't think we can do anything about the environmental effects outside of not being, in the environmental effects, but that's not really an option right now, as we have to be orbiting the Protagoras to ship these goods over to them, right? So I suppose it's one of those cases of it is what it is. And you can see here, cycle 769 is the meal cycle as opposed to cycle 770, which is what I would expect when the game says every 5 cycles is the meal cycle. So that's where I guess my misunderstanding was from earlier as well. But what's good is that when this meal cycle is done, this starvation should go away because everybody in Sector 2 will have been fed. At least that's my understanding of the situation. But yes, what I was saying previously before somebody died was that it looks like the mushroom wall is working as efficiently as it can. And the stockpile over here is stockpiling quite a bit of waste from just this one singular building. So do I really need to hit the stability here and get waste recycling happening when we're able to stay on top of things as things are right now? Now, I was thinking of maybe getting another mushroom wall up over here or building a monument up over here. And if we get a second mushroom wall, then sure, we might need, a better flow of waste, but that's not a conversation for now. At least it doesn't feel like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, of course, but for the time being, it seems as though we have a pretty good thing going here, and it seems as though, yes, starvation has been taken care of in Sector 2, and people are happy once more. Okay, good stuff, excellent stuff. Separately, if we take a look at fleet management, we should see cryonic pods have been brought in, so we can get rid of this completely and make sure ice is prioritized. Looking pretty good as well right now. We have a bit of a stockpile going, and perhaps more importantly, we have water here being accumulated as well. God, that was nerve-wracking. I was genuinely quite concerned there about our water situation in particular. There's a bit of homelessness in Sector 2 right now, so I could build another Demotic Quarter. I suppose we could get rid of you and then put the Demotic Quarters down over there, and that should be okay. I wonder if there's a better way to align things to leave some empty room somewhere for other structures potentially. Like, again, this homelessness isn't affecting stability, but I don't like there being homelessness in the first place. You know what I mean? Why don't we go ahead and, yes, dismantle you, and we'll replace this with Demotic Quarters. I just don't know which way I want it to face, because it occurs to me that I could put it down like this, and fit 2 side by side like this, as opposed to like I had them before. And I just wonder what I'd prefer. Is more the question. What would I rather? And is there any reason for one or the other? I think I kind of like this layout. Sure. Pop you down like that. That'll be enough for everybody who lives here and more. And eventually we'll of course have to wake up more cryonic pods, right? We have 315 people waiting to be woken up. Do we have enough room for them? I think so. Do we have enough food production for them? Definitely not. And I wonder if we have to get another sector unlocked, which is dedicated to food, or if we get Sector 3 dedicating to food as well. I know I was planning on getting EVA airlocks out the wazoo over here, but maybe instead I can focus on food in Sector 3 as well, just to make sure we're providing enough for all the people that still need to be woken up. Or do I rework Sector 1 a bit further and, yes, build up those mushroom walls over here, or maybe get... I don't know. I mean, that's probably the only thing we have room for. We could maybe fit some crop fields up over here, but not a full 9. Separately as well, of course, there's technology we could consider researching. If we take a look at the mushroom wall, we could get controlled symbiosis, increasing food production speed. That's not bad. Permanent moisture. and short-circuit toilets all increase food production speed significantly. Separately, the crop farm here can use intelligent design to increase food production speed, and Nihei crops protocol for, waste production. Interesting. But what I'm getting at is, do I want to change... how do I want to approach the food situation? And I ask that as our alternative life center upgrade has been unlocked. Perpetual motivation is not going to help us right now. We need 800 crew in a sector for that. So it's not that far away in some sectors, but it's not close enough for us to actually, need to rush it or anything. So yes, let's turn our attention once more to tech labs and personal computers so that we can rush down this line over here and then chase after computing optimization. That is so far away. It's going to take us so long to get there. And I do wonder if I shouldn't chase something else first instead. My goodness, like the nuclear power plant, so we don't have to worry about solar panels all that much. Nonetheless, for now we'll stick with the original plan, and we can always course correct if we deem it necessary. Separately though, we're going to see +2 from alternative life center. Here you can see second from the top down in sector 2 we should see that +2 as well. Sector 3 though is just going to have +2 too. What, do you have 400? You do have 400 people. Okay, cool. However, we also have extra hours as far as working conditions are concerned. So why don't we go ahead and shut down something? Let's go ahead and shut the colonization training center down. No, we should train colonists. I keep saying we should keep training colonists, and I keep forgetting to train colonists. We have how many right now? 120 and 170 non-workers living over here. So that's a lot more we can convert. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? The other option is to shut it down, which would keep us in extra hours. So what's that worth? We could shut down the tech. Shutting down the tech lab is not an actual option. We could shut down the probe launcher. We haven't used it in a while. Still stays with extra hours. We could shut down our polymer storage. Gets us to optimal. Cool. That sounds good. Sure, for the time being, but we should probably move some more workers here then, if that's going to be a problem. We need 93 workers. We have 117. I guess that's not enough wiggle room. We could move a few people over. We have housing for about 40 more people, give or take. So why don't we get, let's say, 20 workers from Sector 1 to Sector 3. And that should hopefully cover our bases for the time being. And then when we start waking more people up in Sector 1, we will... we'll be able to build more stuff in Sector 1 as well and not worry about working conditions. That seems good to me, and we can turn these guys back on. We can send another probe out to seek out additional iron or something, right? Because, yeah, we only have 93 iron out there right now, so that's not ideal, and we're still shipping polymers over to the Protagoras. We should be done with that shortly. They just need 40 more, and that shouldn't take all that much time. And hopefully we'll be okay. Let's go ahead and turn the electronics factory back on right now, because we have plenty of silicon right now, so we should go ahead and manufacture electronics when we can, because that does become more and more important as we move forward, right? It's needed for making colonists, it's needed for the production of demotic quarters, and we lost another crew member due to environmental effects. I mean, there's not much we can do about that, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bummer. We're kind of forced into this situation. I mean, maybe there was an upgrade out there I could have made. Maybe if we take a look at our tech tree, we could see, I don't know, the EVA airlock. Where you at? EVA airlock, there you are. Dermal interfacing, that's construction speed. Shaping worker behavior, that's repair efficiency. Nothing here seems to be about helping with survivability out there, so maybe that's not an option after all. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like luck of the draw, dice rolls letting us know who lives and who dies, which is, yeah, a bit of a bummer, but what are you going to do? But yeah, what's the deal here? Resources available in the sector? Is that why it's saying 42? Oh, I guess that's what it is. Okay. I was completely misreading this graphic earlier. What's the value of telling me how many resources are available in the sector as opposed to how many resources are being converted to how many resources over here? I've been misunderstanding this graphic for a very long time. Hasn't affected us previously, and I guess technically it hasn't affected us now, but I've just now noticed how off I was with what I was looking at. Damn, okay, so really got to do the math on this and figure out if we want to get another mushroom wall going. 6 waste, 9 food, 3 cycles. As opposed to 12 food per cycle, but it's not available until a harvest every 10 cycles. Figure it out. We'll figure it out. But it looks as though we've finished delivering all the resources to the Protagoras, which means, if I'm not mistaken, we can take a look at the Protagoras and, Ah, no, we have to actually wait a little bit longer for whatever we're doing to get done, and then we can go ahead and take a look at the event up over there. There's plenty of ice down over here. Does the Protagoras still have ice to provide? No, it does not. Okay. Though ice is not looking as bad as it once did. Our cargo ships are now moving up over here to collect ice. Do we want to collect anything else? Do we want to collect anything else? Not necessarily, but we do want to see if there's more iron to be mined and collected. Right, I thought there was some out over here somewhere. Oh, yeah, not too far away from us either. Come on, where'd you go? There it is. Can I find a sweet spot for both of these resources? Potentially? Nah. Alright, well, I'll settle for this. No active probe launcher. Of course. I was wondering why this wasn't grayed out. I was wondering why it was letting me launch a probe. Let's go ahead and turn you back on. No more extra hours, right? Still optimal working conditions across the board. Good stuff. Let's make sure these guys are training, and they are indeed. And let's head back on out to the planetary, or rather system map, and let's get our probe launched to where? Here? Yeah, looks good to me. Lots of iron to be had there, so that should be good enough. I say lots of iron. I should say some iron to be had there. Do we have enough food over here? Do we have enough food coming over here even? Sector 3? Yeah, 40 is the target. Not that we're able to maintain that, but God knows we're trying. God knows we're trying. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Additional mushroom wall over here seems like the right call. We have plenty of waste coming through, more than I'd actually expected, truth be told, from a single building. And there is tech we can research to get more waste coming from these crop farms as well. So our options are either to get a crop farm, maybe fit in over here with like 3 or 4 fields, which is barely going to produce anything, or we replace these guys, I think, with, yes, a mushroom wall, as yet another crew member dies due to environmental effects. Just going to have to keep ignoring that, I suppose. But yeah, we can fit a mushroom wall here. Seems like it might be the right call. Seems like it might be the right call, as we've discovered another 70 iron. It's not that much, but it's something, I suppose. It's something. Back to the system map. One more cycle before the Protagoras is ready to be investigated. Fair enough. And otherwise, things are looking okay. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Just seeing the water pile up like this is very reassuring. Very, very reassuring. We got to be a lot more careful in the future, because that, you know, if I was one cycle later on flipping those cargo ships over to picking up ice, we could have seen some serious issues, I think. We could have seen some serious issues, and I'm glad we didn't. I'm very glad we didn't. Let's go ahead and turn this bad boy back on. We got the wiggle room as far as power is concerned. Let's go ahead and produce some more polymers, because that way we can at least collect more carbon as well, right? And actually sort of strip this system of everything it has to offer. I think that's the right call, at least. Hopefully I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not wrong. We have another meal cycle happening. Doesn't look like anyone's starving, which is a good sight to see. And if we take a look at the tech tree, actually, you'll see under the mess hall, if I can find it, and if memory serves me correctly, we do have the option to have 20% more people accommodated for each meal. That tells me... Oh, all that means is that the mess hall can feed, as opposed to 500 people, it'll be able to feed 600 people, which is good and helpful, but not so urgent, I don't think. Not yet. I was hoping for something... There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Stellar cuisine. One food can feed 50% more crew members per meal. That's what I was looking for. Because right now, one food can feed 10 people. This would mean one food can feed 15 people. But in order to get this, we need lyophilization units and intelligent design. So we'll need this, which in turn needs advanced logistics, and then we'll also need for the crop farm intelligent design, which is available to accelerate food production speed, which maybe is all we need right now. 20% increase is not that bad. Decisions. So many, and I just don't know if actually rushing the tech tree right now, or rushing the tech lab right now, is the right call when we're on the brink of starvation at basically every turn. Get it, every turn, every turn of the station. God, that was terrible. But I'm very tempted to switch gears. Very tempted to switch gears and pick up intelligent design instead, to produce food that much faster, and then maybe chase after stellar cuisine. Space Chef actually allows one food to feed 100% more crew members per meal as well. So that takes us from 15 per food to 20 per food, which is huge. God damn, that is huge. And obviously having all this technology will allow us to get there faster, But will it really? You know, when we don't have science readily available, will it really? Nonetheless, stuff to consider as we head on over to the Protagoras to see exactly what's going down as we try to turn their systems on. The core systems of the Protagoras are now online and operational. Repairs to the superstructure are complete. We spoke with the crew of the Protagoras. It is clear that most of them now wish to pursue a different goal than exoplanet colonization. With their tachyon calculator stolen by the UN and their ability to generate vol coordinates with it, they say they will no longer attempt to reach Remus. Instead, the Protagoras will become a place for life in perpetual displacement. As there are only 2 sectors of the ship functional, however, the crew accept they must reduce their numbers if they are to have a chance of enduring such an existence. While some will leave the Protagoras with heavy hearts, comforted only by the knowledge that they're giving their crewmates the best odds of survival, many more actually wish to join us on the Tiqqun and see the mission to reach Remus through to the end. We must welcome them on board the Tiqqun before we leave this system and the Protagoras behind. Are you for real right now? End DLP. Leave the Protagoras. The crew of the Calypso will leave the Protagoras. Okay, sounds good to me. And we need to transfer 250 crew members from the Protagoras to the Tiqqun. And of course, as I'm reading that out, we see the mushroom wall has been disabled due to an accident, slowing down our food production even further. All right, fair enough. I feel like the decision's kind of been made for me here. Over to the interior view, over to our technology tree, and over to the research of intelligent design, which will take quite a bit of time. 35 science needed for that. I wish I'd pulled the trigger on this before I pulled the trigger on personal computers, but it is what it is. This will at least allow us to produce food a little bit faster to sustain the additional 250 people we're bringing on board before we leave the system. My goodness, are you for real? That is extremely difficult to sustain, and I'm glad that we didn't wake up all of these cryonic pods, and I'm glad that people aren't upset about all these cryonic pods that we've stockpiled. My goodness, 315 people waiting to be woken up alongside 250. And how do we actually pick them up? I assume using our cargo ships. Okay, well, that does mean that we no longer actually have to be in this ice mist, right? So why don't we go ahead and leave, make our way over to DV-59. We'll be a lot closer to some of these resources, but that just makes me realize how much more screwed we really are, folks, because there are only so many resources left in the world for us to gather before we, well, before we have to leave. So we can't wait that long either to actually transfer these 250 crew members. All right, fair enough. Tiqqun, let's get you over to DV-59. That'll take, how long? 2.2 cycles. We have enough battery power for that, right? Let's just double check to make sure. This is enough for 3.1, 2.2 exactly, and 5.1. Okay, sounds good. So we've helped the Protagoras out. Over we go to DV-59 now. And as soon as we maybe finish the research on extra food production, we'll be able to start bringing in these 250 colonists, or crew members, I should say, of the Protagoras who wish to join us. But over we go now to DV-59. I always love seeing those animations. It's just nice. It's a nice touch. The Calypso, meanwhile, though, needs to be brought back to the Tiqqun as well because it is quite low on crew. A few people decided to stay behind on the Protagoras, right? But hey, we came out on top, I suppose you could say. My goodness, I don't know how we're going to be able to sustain so many lives on board. And we most certainly now need to send more probes out to find more resources. There's got to be more to pick up somewhere out there. And nearby too, hopefully. Oh, there's some iron up over here somewhere. Sure, let's go for it. Find whatever we can just to make sure our stay here is sustainable. God knows what the circumstances are going to be when we actually arrive at the next system as well. This is just further proof that we must always do our main objectives to uncover what they actually hold. I would have never predicted that we'd need to transfer 250 people onto our ship. And if I was simply lucky that I decided to slow down the awakening of these cryonic pods. If I'd kept those guys waking up, we'd be in so much trouble right now. We'd be in so much trouble right now. Oh my goodness. Nonetheless, I'm glad things have worked out for us. I just wonder the best approach to our food situation. And the best timing to demolish these insect farms as well, right? or alternatively keeping these guys up and running, and yes, establishing more farms out over here in Sector 3, where we have plenty of room that was earmarked for something else, but hey, you know, plans change. Plans change. Sometimes out of necessity, sometimes out of desperation, sometimes out of desire. This would be desperation, I would say. 3 crew members were injured at the colonization training center. Okay, fair enough. As long as nobody died, and as soon as this is up and running again, we should definitely train more people. Man, lost a lot of lives in the freeze. We're about to arrive at our new destination, V.59. This you? Oh yeah, this is you. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, that is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. But I'm glad we're out of the ice mist, because that was causing us a lot of trouble. Every time the solar panels went down, I had a minor panic attack. But at least we're out of there now. It just means it'll take a little bit longer to actually get those crew members over, because the cargo ships have to go back and forth. But I'd rather that delay than solar panels being destroyed and us seeing blackouts and stuff like that. That would not be ideal. Plus, we were losing crew members constantly, which I did not like. So much prefer our current circumstances. Separately, though, I wonder if we shouldn't do waste management in Sector 3 just to stop these stoppages and the waste purging that happens every however many cycles. Because that does slow us down. Is it by enough to cause me concern? Maybe not. But it's definitely a thought that's been on my mind a couple of times now. Oh boy. This is going to take a long time to research. Our other option, of course, is to just bring on board a bunch of starving crew members and let them potentially starve just so we can leave this system and end up at a new system that'll have points of interest where we can accumulate more science and then start producing food a bit more quickly. But that sounds almost tyrannical, and that sounds dumb. That sounds like a dumb idea. That's not a risk worth taking, like the one we took when we jumped straight to the Protagoras, which worked out. That was fine. Trust is maxed out again, everyone's happy, everything's A-okay. Ignore the flashing symbols across the bottom when I say everything's fine. Everything is fine. Worst case scenario, again, we can always switch to restricted food, right? One food feeds 16 people. That'll allow us to quickly bring those 250 people over, which might be the way to go. But folks, we're not going to find out until next time. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Right now, I'm leaning towards restricted food just to bring those people over so we can get the hell out of the system next time and not have to worry anymore about the stagnation, in particular, of our research. But folks, like I said, that's going to be a conversation for next time, basically. I hope you enjoyed our first session back, our first session of the new year. I hope you didn't have as many panic attacks as I did. This was a very disconcerting episode, as we lost quite a few lives and almost lost the whole station, I feel, with how the ice and food situation was looking at the beginning. But nonetheless, folks, we've recovered from most of our struggles, just a few more to consider as we move forward. If you had a good time, please don't hesitate to let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, makes a very big difference in just letting me know what people are enjoying on the channel. And of course, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.